Guest speaker of the day, Dr. Arindam Saha, sir. He is currently working with Institute of Business Management and Research. So we had a privilege to have you today. Thank you so much for sparing your time and uh, getting
Thank
out,
you so
getting
much.
yeah, getting here for this interactive session. Let me take a privilege to introduce sir to all the participants. Dr. Arindam Saha, sir, is currently working with Institute of Business Management and Research and is distinguished academic and management professional with over 22 years of multifaceted experience spanning higher education, consulting, publishing, research, and the non-profit sector. Sir's teaching and research expertise cover organizational behavior, human resource management, change management, training and development, HRIS, and HR analytics. Sir has designed and taught advanced management courses at postgraduate and doctoral levels, known for integrating conceptual clarity with practical industry insights. Before entering into full time academia, Sir held responsible roles in publishing, consulting, and research domains, working with organizations such as Oxford University Press, the Options Group Incorporation, and DRDO Delhi. Sir's experience enriched his understanding of organizational systems, leadership behavior, and strategic human process perspectives that now deeply inform his teaching and research philosophy. Over the years, Sir has also contributed to academic leadership through mentoring, program coordination, and alumni engagement initiatives. Sir has scholarly work has been featured in peer-reviewed and Scopus Index journals, and Sir's management cases have been published with Emerald Publishing EMCS, the Case Center UK, and Harvard Business Publications. Sir's research interests include diversity and inclusion, cross-cultural management, and organizational effectiveness. Renowned for his insightful, reflective, and interactive teaching style, Sir inspires participants to connect human behavior with organizational purpose. Sir's session blend intellectual depth with empathy, encouraging educators and professionals to think and rethink leadership, collaboration, and continuous learning in today's dynamic, purpose driven world, which actually aligns with our faculty development program theme, Reimagining Business Education in Industry 5.0 Pedagogies, Skills, and Sustainabilities. And it is indeed a pleasure to have you, sir. I would request you to please address the gathering. Thank you so much,
Thank you
sir.
so much, Dr. Sapna Advani, ma'am. So it was such a detailed introduction. Thank you so much for welcoming me as well. I hope I am audible to you and all the audience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, thank you so much. So shall I begin the discussion? Thank you so much. So, well, this is the sixth session for the FDP, as I am given to understand. And my role is to discuss some kind of relationship between the Industry 5.0 paradigm and higher education, business education, as well as technological education, or maybe a combination of other streams of higher education as well. So I'm sure my esteemed audience has already the privilege and uh, they had already explored the relationship or the shift from Industry 4.0 to Industry 5.0, and then they had other kind of inputs from experts in these 3 days. I will assume that we have some basic understanding of it, and I will build upon that. In the initial few minutes of my discussion, we will probably talk about where was the shift from 4.0 to 5.0. What is 5.0 exactly? Where does human centricity comes into it? And of course, definitely the impact of or how Industry 5.0 aligns with today's higher education institutions. So, in the initial part, maybe around 10 minutes, I will have some kind of inputs which I have learned from very many sources, and I will share those with you. And then we will move to the core part of our discussion, which is more like pedagogical advancements, integration of technology into today's higher education institutions. We'll also talk about curriculum development and something which is very pertinent to almost all institutions today, that's the learner centricity, which we call under a big umbrella term called as known as outcome based education. So where the learning is of paramount importance and the entire uh, delivery happens with the frame that the learner or the primary stakeholder, our students, should get the benefit. So this is how broadly I have tried to uh, share with you what I intend to discuss with you. Please feel free to interrupt me or stop me and discuss if you have something which is really an important query you feel. And of course, if our moderator, esteemed moderator allows, we can have a discussion, or else you can put your questions in the chat or as our esteemed moderator, uh, deems fit. So again, a very warm welcome to you all. I also understand that I am in between you and the dinner. So that's a kind of background we have here. We all want to finish this as fast as possible and go back to our family time and our meals, of course, with the family. So let me quickly start. So for this session, I was going through a research published by PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of the well-known consulting firms across the globe. And it has done a industry analysis of six prominent industries. And the orientation was to understand how Industry 5.0 is being taken in these industries. So this report says that these six industries are wanting to have their own sustainability initiatives and yet want to achieve a very high profitable growth 2 times or 3 times over next 3 to 5 years. Now, that's something which is probably the reality of today's business world. And our higher education is very, very closely associated with what the industry expects. So anyway, so this is the Industry 5.0 paradigm, which we call. Uh, Again, delving a little more on what is Industry 5.0, just to build upon this session. So we are probably looking at a symbiotic relationship between human beings, all of us, including our students, and advanced technologies. Very prominently, of course, artificial intelligence, AI, and then the kind of gifts we received from or during Industry 4.0, which is robotics and Internet of Things. The idea is to raise human productivity and open new possibilities which are automated, which talks about safety at workplace and the practices which are resilient as well as sustainable. So it's a very kind of unique combination Industry 5.0 looks at. It looks at phenomenal growth. It looks at use of technology at the highest level, and it also wants everything to be human centric. So that's the beauty of Industry 5.0 paradigm. I hope most of us know that in 2011, that was the time when we were talking about Industry 4.0. So we talked about advances in technology, we talked about IoT, and we talked about data driven decisions and so many things. And roughly 10 years later, in 2021, we started talking about Industry 5.0. So that's something which has happened very fast, and it also propels very many kind of growth options in the institutional framework, educational institutions which are in the domain of higher education, which are preparing. Uh, Although it's not a right word, but I'm just to understand it better, I'm using the term products, which is creating products so that the manufacturing sector can or service sector can have those products and advance their growth and they can sustain. Just to recheck, I hope I am audible to all. Dr. Sapna ma'am, could you just kindly confirm?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely audible.
Thank you so much. So that's a kind of scenario we have here with the expectation of the industry looming over the higher education institutions because they want people who are ready to drive their organizations. We can no longer uh, think in a isolated manner what we want to deliver to our students in educational institutions But we have to look at what industry needs. And we also have to look at what my primary stakeholder, my student, needs. What are his or her learning requirements? What are the ways through which he or she learns better? And how can we make this learning pleasurable, for him or her when they are part of our institutions? So, just to talk a couple of minutes about how Industry 5.0 integrates into higher education or comes into higher education. So we have seen that this new paradigm, which was uh, proposed hardly a few years, 3-4 years back, it tries to integrate advanced technologies with a human-centric approach. And what is the prompt it gives to higher education? We probably are pushed to evolve into something, probably, I do not know whether there is a word by the name Education 5.0. So, but what do we mean? And that's what Industry 5.0 wants us to think about is foster human creativity, innovation, critical thinking, analytical skills, decision-making skills, but coupled with socio-emotional skills. So we want our primary stakeholders, our learners at the institutions to be very, very emotionally adapt to handle very many things alongside being proficient with technological advancements also, which are happening in their fields. Now, this shifts education from technology driven to a human machine collaborative model kind of thing, which is evident in engineering institutions more than management institutions, probably. Uh, and definitely the widespread use of AI for personalized learning, creating smart learning environments, having advanced level learning management systems, using data analytics, models of data analytics, and adapting our curricula and pedagogy to suit all these changes. Okay, now coming to our main discussion agenda is how do we do that? So if we are talking about Industry 5.0, its integration with higher education institutions, uh, there is an impact on what industry expects our tomorrow's managers, technology uh, owners, or technology creators should have is something which can be created or built through curriculum reform. Primarily, we are looking at something which talks about how to reform our curriculum, assessment, mapping of learning with very many kind of things we do at our institutions, and try to understand how we can make a difference or how we can contribute to Industry 5.0. So we are National Education Policy 2020 also talks about promoting interdisciplinary modules, interdisciplinary courses, and we have seen a plethora of courses across enlightened institutions across India and maybe the globe also, which talks about multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary modules, courses. It definitely also talks about curriculum reform alongside industry reforms, expectations of the industry to be inbuilt into the curriculum designing part. It also tries to develop students' social and emotional resilience to prepare them for something which Industry 5.0 demands human centric, sustainable, and resilient future workforce. We want our students, our learners at our institutions to be creating environments or creating organizations which are sustainable and can ensure their growth. Okay, so that was the initial part of our discussion when we tried to link the main theme of this FDP and now we try to move to the kind of things we do at higher education institutions, and we must take care of those things more now. So, human machine collaboration is something which Industry 5.0 talks about heavily. Uh, as far as pedagogical advancements are concerned, we need more personalized and adaptive learning. So, AI helps us, machine learning helps us tailoring our learning path for our students, which are more personalized, customized, and we have also tried to understand how people learn better. So there is also probably a shift from classroom learning to learning online, which we have seen over the last few years. There are so many platforms our students today use, and their dependence on our classrooms have probably become lesser and lesser over the last few years. And somewhere it also gives us a kind of push to think what will happen in the future, what lies for us as educators ahead, what kind of changes do we need to do, what kind of modifications we need to do. So, moving from these discussions, I am now coming towards our main agenda of the session, which is basically how curriculum design should happen, so that we pave path for Industry 5.0 revolution, if we can call it a revolution, definitely, um, and build a kind of student or future managers or engineers or other professionals who can drive organizations towards Industry 5.0. I would now share a PowerPoint presentation where in few slides we'll try to understand what kind of things we probably are. You already may be talking about all these things in your institutions, taking certain action steps also. And we will also probably talk about what happens in my institution. At my institution, there are certain endeavors which are taken in the last couple of years, especially, and we try to see how integration of not only Industry 5.0, but the NEP framework is also brought into the entire curriculum, from designing to delivery. So I hope, Sapna ma'am, I am allowed to share. Let me try.
Yes, sir. I have given you
Yes,
the rights. Yes.
yes. So I'm trying to share. I hope it is visible. I will make it as a.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay. So the main theme, Dr. Sapna Advani already introduced. I have just reduced the words the theme has and tried to make it more towards institutional endeavors. So we are trying to reimagine higher education institutions of today and tomorrow so that they align well with 5.0 goals, Industry 5.0 goals. Sapna ma'am, are we allowed to take some questions or do we have something on the chat which I need to address? Please guide me whenever you think that it is required.
Sure, sir.
Sure. So, coming to our main theme, we are talking about Industry 5.0 and higher education and integration of these two. So nowadays, in every professional institution, I'm sure my learned colleagues here are talking about at least these things. There may be many more, but these are the certain things which definitely we are talking about. We are talking about courses or designing courses or developing and introducing courses which are industry oriented, so that these products, I'm so sorry, I'm using again that our students should go into the industry and help them drive for sustainable growth and resilient organizations they can build. So we talk about industry oriented courses in which we take feedback from probably our alumni, probably people who are experts in various domains of the industry, who have spent some good amount of time in the industry. We talk about our courses, our thoughts with them, and then they share us with, they enlighten us with their share of thoughts. We also talk about something which is a new paradigm, getting popular over the last few years, of course, outcome based education. When we look at student as our primary stakeholder and student centric learning as our primary outcome. So I'm sure our faculty colleagues already understand this, but just to share something from my side, I will share uh, just like one anecdote. That probably few years back, faculty members were armed with what the external world requires, and then they will design curriculum, they will design the content, they will decide the pedagogical or andragogical tools, which the third bullet talks here about, and then they will deliver the session. So it was probably more faculty driven, what is to be offered, how is that has to be offered. And students probably will have very lesser say in deciding certain things which impact them. But now in outcome-based education paradigm, which became popular at least from last almost 8 to 10 years, it became popular. Many institutions adopted these principles across the globe. We started talking about, no, it is what the learner should decide. The benefit of the learner should be of paramount importance. So that's something which is a shift here. Another shift, which again all of us understand, is between two kind of broad principles: pedagogical principles, which are more suited for younger students who are in school-based education, probably. School-based means primary, middle, and then uh, intermediate and higher level till class 12, maybe. And and there is something which is more important now, because our audience is something who is someone who is mature, who has his or her own set of experiences. They have acquired certain knowledge, skills, and abilities to decipher the world around them. So they have their own say. And we have to use a different set of principles, which are uh, commonly known as andragogy or andragogical principles. So adult learning principles is something which we need to talk about more and integrate in our classrooms. Then fourth one is very much related with Industry 5.0 and even Industry 4.0. How can we integrate technology platforms with curriculum design and delivery? Point five, designing futuristic curriculum. That's the need or the R. We have to understand how Industry 5.0 is going to make changes to our entire educational landscape. To give you a glimpse, a few days back, some of my colleagues were having a discussion that the way students are now using AI, using or misusing, you can have your own word for it. So the way they are using or misusing artificial intelligence is something which probably pushes us to think, will we be relevant in the coming years? The kind of things which are available on a small device called mobile phones through internet is something which is immense, which is phenomenal. The kind of information they have at hand is something which is phenomenal. Where do we as educators, as facilitators, or broadly called as teachers, stand? So that's something which we have to build into our curriculum, because here is where we can make a difference. And sixth is something which I feel that every educator should have uh, or should initiate, should promote an open feedback system where the learners of the classroom should get back to him or her and say, okay, professor, I find this relevant, I find this useful, but there are certain things which you need to think about, because I think these are not so relevant for me, or these are not so useful for me. So this is something which, these six things are certain things which we need to talk about in our uh, institutions, definitely. So moving forward, and so now when we talk about outcome-based education, we talk about pedagogical advancements or introducing andragogical learning tools. We also talk about certain things which are futuristic, which are learner-centric primarily. So when we talk about outcome-based education, when we talk about how the stakeholders benefit is of the paramount importance, we also need to think about and talk about these terms. I'm sure my learned colleagues here have already good idea about these, but for the sake of today's session and our discussion, we will have a little kind of inputs on these. So first, there are many terms. We talk about program learning outcomes, we talk about program educational objectives, and here we are talking about program outcomes. So some say program educational objectives is is probably answering that primary question, that why do this course exist at the first place, which is this is what the NBA curriculum also, or NBA site also says, National Board of Accreditation under AICTE. Although these are two separate bodies, but institutions which go for NBA accreditation, they have to answer certain questions. Anyway, so program outcomes is a term which is there a question or input from someone? Okay, no. Okay. So program outcomes may be looked at from two different. Achha, there is a question from Mr. Mayank Jain, I guess. Yeah, please, Mayank Ji, please share your question now.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayank Ji. Namaskar.
Uh, my question is related with your previous slide.
Yeah.
The open feedback system.
Yes.
I doubt it can create controversies also.
Very true, sir. Very true. Very true. So that's a challenge also. So is your question complete, or do you want to add something
No, no,
before I?
this is a complete question.
Okay. Yes, yes. So this is a challenge, and why I added this term here, because I realized uh, this in my own sessions, that students feel good, they feel valued when a faculty member allows them to speak their mind. At times, yes, it creates difficulties for me, but when we look at the outcome-based education philosophy or framework, we realize that it is their right to ask questions and raise questions on the way we are delivering our content, the way we are designing content, delivering content. So they have every right as adult learners to ask us and ask themselves first whether it is relevant to me. And if it is not relevant, although we can question whether they have that maturity to understand what is relevant for them or not, but sometimes they need to vent out their feedback to us. They need to shout out to us, Professor, this is not making sense. Professor, can we talk about something else? Or can we add something more to it? So, yes, sir, I fully agree with you. It can create certain controversies. It can create difficulties for us.
It's a challenge because
Yeah,
absolutely they have a right, but it will
it's
create a challenge
sure.
specifically in Indian system.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a big challenge. Very true. Very true. Maybe in the years to come, we will also find out ways how to handle it better. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for your question. So, so program outcomes, how I understood it, and you may share your thoughts. Please feel free to share. So, program outcomes are something we want our learners to imbibe and our learners to also showcase when they join the workforce. When they join variety of organizations, what are the things we expect them to be able to do? So, something I would look at it as something which defines them maybe 3 to 4 years after they have completed the professional education from our institutions. Are they having appropriate knowledge, skills, and abilities to make the difference in the organization? What kind of things they are able to do in the organizations is something program outcomes are all about. So it is futuristic. Today we can draft nice set of PLOs or program outcomes, POs, but tomorrow's industry will decide whether we were able to deliver them well or not, because our product, our student has gone to them and he or she is making a difference or probably not making that difference. So program outcomes are futuristic. It talks about how our students should perform in the initial few years in the industry when they have joined the industry. Second thing, which is again a very pertinent area of discussion, accreditations. So this is a world of accreditations. We have our own UGC and AICT, two governing bodies which govern various two different kind of institutions. We have, along with AICT, we have another accreditation, which is National Board of Accreditation, again for higher education institutions. If we talk about certain international accreditations, we all know there are institutions which call themselves as holder of Triple Crown, which is ASESB, AMBA, EQUIS, these are the terms which generally I have heard with management institutions more, but definitely there could be other institutions who have also undergone tremendous changes to get these kind of crowns or achievements or accreditations. So accreditations or acquiring accreditations is something which is very, very pertinent for educational institutions, today, so that they can sustain. They can sustain in this competitive world of higher education as well. Third thing, which is very, very important, I feel that every faculty member should understand what is a course learning outcome. Sometimes we also call it as course outcome. So, for example, if an engineering student learns uh, engineering drawing, civil engineers probably learn these, or project management, or maybe a course on Python, or a course on how to judiciously use AI. So there will be certain set of course learning outcomes. So these are the primarily the takeaways a student can expect to have with him or her after they have completed the course. I'm sure no more inputs are required. You all must be aware about these things. Now, CLOs are fine. We have to deliver a course. We have to design a course. We have to design session plan. We have to design entire 30 hours course and break it down to certain kind of modules or units. But we have also need to assess. So there has to be certain kind of assessment components. Uh, the last bullet talks about these assessment components or two broad-based variety, formative and summative assessments. In my almost 15 years of academic career, I have understood that summative assessments are easier to design, conduct, and probably measure the outcomes also. Formative assessments are a little difficult to create and deliver. So to the best of my understanding, certain kind of in-class assessments would probably be more closer to formative assessments rather than what we see in schools nowadays or in higher education institutions nowadays. For example, first internal test or first test, second test, half yearly, and then annual exam, and so on and so forth. These kind of systems we have in our institutions, and these have been there for very, very long time. So formative assessments, to the best of my knowledge, are a little difficult to design. Now comes the another very important concept which we need to understand, which is mapping program outcomes with course learning outcomes. And finally, when each course is divided into 24 or 30 sessions, depending on the hours or credits we decide, there are session learning outcomes also.
Excuse,
Yeah, sure, please.
yeah, regarding the formative assessments,
Sure, sure.
recently the in Education 5.0 is just asking us to go with the formative assessments. On the spot
Yes, yes,
registration of the answers, the feedbacks of the children, the outcome of
true.
the people, and not with the most ideal set what we are having it as a summative assessments. What is
Sure.
the remedy actually when we are going with the international standard? We are with the summative assessments. That is one part of challenge I think that we have to go through. All the international curriculum is mapping with their own formative assessments in their own way of
Yes,
doing things. The course coordinators can decide their assessment even, but in India we are not having that much of freedom towards
yeah,
the course assessment, at least the curriculum assessment or something like that. This challenge,
yes.
I think, it is there in spite of Education 5.0. So, what is the remedy as an educator you are suggesting for us?
Okay. Okay, I will have a couple of inputs for this. But before that, may I request our other esteemed colleagues and participants here if they can have something which can address this pertinent question. Maybe someone has already tried. So let us hear from that esteemed colleague.
Sir, actually, I'm Rahini from
Uh, Your voice is breaking a bit. Uh,
Rahini,
Dr. Rahini, your voice is breaking a bit. I do not know whether it is due to internet issues or something.
non-conventional first we during the period particular choose or non-conventional pattern. Oh, okay, sir. Is it okay,
Uh,
sir, now? Sir, now
may
am I audible, sir?
yes, yes, now it is better. May I request you to just put the question again here? Because I could not understand most of it due to some internet-based issue, I guess.
Yes, sir. Is it audible now, sir?
Yes, yes, it is audible now. Thanks.
Okay, sir.
Uh, Ma'am, I probably missed again.
Rahini ma'am, can I please request you to put your question in the
non-conventional
chat
pattern.
box?
Choose
Rahini ma'am, excuse me ma'am. Rahini ma'am, am I audible?
Okay. One part in the initial phase of Rahini ma'am's inputs, I could understand probably, which was that there is a challenge in the Indian education system, higher education system, to have formative assessments and good quality summative assessments also. I think that's something which Dr. Rahini was trying to address in the initial part. After that, I missed her entirely. Her
Okay, sir.
inputs.
Actually, the challenge is nothing but we have a curriculum freedom to
Yes.
choose during the assessment, but not framing the syllabus.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
We have in our university, we can choose any conventional pattern or non-conventional pattern of
Okay.
examination.
Okay.
You can give projects and you can evaluate and give the end semester marks.
Yes. Yes. I
Even with
understand.
assets, even with the case studies, even with market survey, we can
Okay.
assess and we can
Okay.
give the marks. Even
Wonderful.
with the online video. But the problem is that while formulating the entire curriculum, the academic council or the people in the institutions are not allowing us
Uh-huh.
to formulate the curriculum based on what is the requirement of the course coordinator.
Okay. Okay. Now I understood.
Foreign
Yes. Yes. That's a
universities,
big constraint.
foreign universities, the course coordinator will design the curriculum and they will
Yes.
fix the assessment system. Here
Very
we
right.
are
Very
the assessment.
Yes, Dr. Raini, that's a big constraint. Although you are fortunate that your institution or your university allows you to experiment with the assessment methods, but of course, if the syllabus is not up to date, then probably those methods or those assessment components will also fall short of measuring what is actually to be measured. So I understand your plight, and that's something which probably more or less is a phenomena we see in university-driven system or university system rather, where changing a curriculum or a syllabus not that easy. It happens after a stipulated number of years only. Yes, yes, that's a big constraint, I understand. And then we fall short of what Industry 5.0 uh, tries to push Education 5.0 to join hands with. So, so yes, yes, that kind of alignment will miss. I understand, ma'am. So that's a constraint, yes. In some AICT driven institutes, I have experienced, and I work with three of them so far. So, what I understood that yearly revision of curriculum, the syllabus or courses, is something which is an important feature. So, this I liked in AICT driven system. And there will also be some kind of freedom to choose assessment methods. Especially there are levels of autonomy, we understand. So with higher level of autonomy comes more freedom. Definitely, that's what the autonomy means. So that's there. But then there is a fair amount of requirement that we change our syllabus every year, which revise the course, seek feedback of industry, seek feedback of great academic institution leaders, and also take feedback of our present ongoing course curriculums to course students. So these are the three kind of stakeholders which advise. So yes, that happens. So syllabus change is very much required when we think
Another
about.
one more
Sure,
concern which I would like to record in this forum is that
sure.
why we teachers are more concerned about research paper publication than in pedagogy modeling. Why
Very
this
rightly.
AICT, NIRF, or
Yes.
ABBA, all NBA? Why you people are focusing more on the research side? We are not a research institute. We are, after all, a teaching pedagogy institute where we are
Very true.
not able to concentrate on the children, not able to concentrate on the pedagogical system, latest outcomes, latest syllabus. We are spending
Very
more and more time with the research outputs. So
I
that
understand, ma'am.
system should be a recommendation from educators like you to AICT or somewhere.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, that is something which pains me, and I'm sure most of us go through that pain. So, yes, that's a kind of orientation which has happened in the recent past, where institutions are. So, it comes somewhere with the point two here, accreditations. When we move towards getting accreditations, sometimes research becomes very important because there are points assigned to research. Research which is application oriented, industry oriented, and futuristic. Okay, I will take a pause. Mr. Dr. Amar Chavan, I guess, wishes to share something. Yeah, please, sir.
Yes, sir. Whatever the ma'am has said,
Yes,
just put in a highlight. Actually, as an NEP 2020, like we're talking about the outcomes, accreditation criteria, CLO,
yes,
PO, CLO.
yes,
Because as
yeah,
per the NEP, when you go the student fourth year, it requires a research component as per
yes,
the
yes,
AICT and everything. For that reason, the faculty has to fulfill the everything to the before the teaching, plus as well as an accreditation of the institutional and grading of the AICT. Research is a very, very major component because two major criteria is considered as a criteria number three in all seven criteria of AICT.
yes, sir.
So there are so many parameters that is goes with an AICT and everything. So as a teacher, if you want to fulfill your profile, so if you go in every teaching institute or any other where, so they will first of all see your research profile, not your
True.
experience, because research profile is right now the major concern in every teaching industry, because they will say, how many did you paper publish? Did you did the project? Did you have the minor research project? Have you completed
Yes,
this, that? Means patent, copyright. Now IPR is also booming
yes,
right
yes.
now. Now IPR is a major quota that government has been taken out. So many initiative has been taken because the way it is going, the Moody has been designed that India 4.0 or whatever the things for the thing. The industry is now we are talking about the 5.0. So these are the needs of the future era. So that is the reason as a teacher, I feel so personally, yes, if you have a research component and everything, I do agree. Yes, it takes a time for the people to come and get in places and everything. But yes, if you try
True.
to adhere those things, yes, it will really helpful for your career as well as future and as well as the what industry we are seeing for the futuristic. That will really help. That's what I feel personally.
Very true, very true. I fully understand your viewpoint, sir, and I agree with it. Definitely.
Thank you.
Yes. So maybe
Just
we
it
will
may
get
it
some
should
other.
not be a debate, but I would like to
Ah,
add
yeah,
you.
exactly.
I didn't deny that we are
I
increasing our profile, we are publishing, we are doing all the projects, we are getting fundings, everything it is there. My question is, my concern is that some of the research institutes are there and they are meant for research works, and
true.
scientific researches are going on everywhere. And in the foreign countries, people are separately allotted for researchers, even in the institutions and in the universities. So those people will be concentrating only on the research work. They will not come to the regular teaching pedagogy. Some teachers will be allocated separately as a tutors, as a professors. Those will be only doing the professoring work. So just
Yeah.
like that, the universities or the colleges can also allocate professors for
Yes,
research
yes.
works and also for the teachers.
That's
Even
happening, ma'am.
AICT
That is
is
already happening. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
at
Sure,
the
sure.
AICT is mandatorily doing that, but the practice is not that. That's what my concern. So we are not in a
Sure.
position to move towards 5.0.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
I
we'll,
now
we'll, we'll
I
take it
agree
up
on
in
ma'am
some other
also.
forum, maybe. And thank you for your inputs. But yes, I understand this plight, and this has been a debate in my own institution and in a couple of other institutions where I have friends. Yes, this is a big debate also. Uh, there is a requirement for industry 5.0 to get enhanced research from education or higher education institutions, and there is also requirement that student centric learning has to be delivered. So we are trying to understand how student centric learning can be promoted under education 5.0, under industry 5.0. But I fully agree with these two points, and yes, there are some institutions which have people designated with the designated tasks of teaching or teaching plus research or research only. I mean, we have some kind of designations also, scholarly, academic, professionals, and purely academic, and those kind of things. But as of now, we will try to just take a pause here, and we'll move on to our new our agenda here. And because time is also moving away from us, and we'll have to cover certain things. But thank you so much for your inputs. So quickly moving ahead with the fourth point, mapping POs, CLOs, and SLOs, and then evaluation of outcomes. That's very important, whether the learning has happened. There is another concept which I learned through another institutions where I work, another institution which has assurance of learning concept under ASESB accreditation. That's an international accreditations. Generally, I have seen management institutions going for. Okay, so assurance of learning is something which is a promise. Generically speaking, it generally is a promise that our students would have learned that. And the document tries to retrieve data from grades and other things, assessment components, and tries to understand whether we have achieved what we wanted to achieve, whether our students has learned what they were supposed to learn. And finally, of course, we talked about assessment components, which can be broadly classified into formative and summative assessments. There are more terms. So when we talk about, there are terms like graduate attributes. There are terms, in the initial part of this slide, I said program educational objectives, and there are some other terms also. So these are the important terms which we all need to be aware about, reflect on, and bring it to our curriculum. That was my take when I wanted to share this. Now, moving ahead, I will share certain things which my institution and a couple of other institutions where I worked, I understood and I saw, I experienced also. Generally, a course or a subject, whatever we call it as, will have 4 to 6 units, and they should be preferably progressive, should be preferably. It's not a mandate, but yes, if they are progressive, then it's better. So there is a learning curve a student follows from beginners to intermediate learners and to becoming a high-end learner in that course. Generally, I have seen that good course outlines have 3 to 4 course learning outcomes, although there could be 5 also. And I have seen in some institutions there are 5 CLOs, course learning outcomes. That's the key takeaway a student can have if they complete the course attentively with all assessment components and so on and so forth. Generally, each course may have 4 to 5 assessment or evaluation components. So these are divided in formative and summative assessments. Now, again, raising the question whether we can really call them as formative assessments is something we need to delve upon. But yes, broad classification. Only one probably is summative in as far as we see in our higher education institutions, and the rest are named as formative, part of formative assessments. Now, session plan or course outline, whatever we call it as, which will outline all the sessions. Some annotation is happening. Okay. So may I request, if you have any query, please feel free to share. So yeah, thank you so much. So if there is a 30-hour course and divided into sessions of, let us say, 75 minutes, we will have 24 sessions. If these are 60-minute sessions, we will have 30 sessions, so on and so forth. And there are teaching credits and student credits attached. Now, session plans should also have session learning outcomes defined. For example, if I deliver one session, first session, what is the kind of takeaway my students should have? And similarly, for other sessions also, SLOs should be defined. Each session will have to be mapped to a specific CLO. A good practice which I have understood is to map one session with probably one CLO only. Sometimes there are some courses where one session may be mapped to multiple CLOs, such as at least 2 CLOs we have seen. And then there is an attainment of CLOs which will come to us through various assessment components, marks and grades students achieve, and which will then further be mapped with program level outcomes, or POs, what we have called in the previous slide. And that's where we come to a conclusion and assurance of learning. The document can be framed. So these are some kind of things which are happening in some good institutions which are following CO, PO, and SLO kind of mapping. So I will just move quickly ahead and take the example of my institute. Due to privacy concerns, I should not be using other institutions where I worked and their components. So I'm free to use my institute components here. We have, in each course, we have decided in the last few years that we will have 4 components only. First component, and we will have 4 CLOs only for each course. Whether it is, we run MBA and BBA programs. BBA is a 3-year, 6-semester program now, this year onwards. Earlier, it was a yearly program. MBA programs are semester based. We are under a university called Devi Allai Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, DAVV, and it has a semester system for MBA programs. So we have 4 MBA programs, and each will have 4 semesters in a way. Each semester will roughly have 8 kind of courses or subjects. Coming back to the mapping. So there are 4 assessment components, and one first component will happen probably after 10 or 12 sessions have been delivered, and it will be mapped with something called a CLO1, course learning outcome 1. There is something more which I need to talk about, which I missed so far. That's Bloom's revised taxonomy, which is helpful in not only designing CLOs, but also mapping CLOs with our assessment components and use of action verbs. I will come just quickly to this input also. And we have decided that one formative assessment component will be mapped with 1 CLO only. Last, which is the summative assessment component or end semester exam, that will be mapped with either all of the CLOs, generally speaking, or in some courses, they should have a autonomy to map it with maybe 2, 3 CLOs also. May not be all 4 CLOs. Now, that's something which is done at my institute level. There may be other institutions who follow a different kind of orientation. So that's perfectly fine. If they're able to handle that and bring out the AOL document properly, then it is perfectly fine. Multiple mappings will make the calculations more complex, and if we have developed that tool to help us assess those learning outcomes, perfectly fine. Okay, so I'm quickly coming to Bloom's taxonomy. I should have discussed about it a little earlier. So Bloom's revised taxonomy, which this picture is actually talking about. Now, we have something called HOTS and LOTS. So higher order thinking skills and lower order thinking skills. In higher education institution, this is something which is important for all of us to know. And while designing our courses, we need to take care of those things. Not only while designing courses, we also need to plan our CLOs, design our CLOs, create our CLOs in a way which should address some of these levels. What I mean to say also is, if it is a first year course of MBA, let us say, in my institution, or if it is a final year BTech or BE course, we can have different kind of CLOs mapping with different levels of Bloom's taxonomy or learning levels. What are these 6 levels? I'm sure all of you know. I will just quickly brush upon these. First part is remember. So students should be able to recall facts and the concepts which we have delivered in the class and during the course. Second is, after recalling and having an understanding of having a recalling of basic concepts, there has to be some kind of understanding which we can see. So they can explain ideas, or though they can also explain those concepts in the context of that course. Third part is very important for higher education institutions, because the idea of learning concepts or abstract ideas is that, or skills is also that they can be applied. So can the student use the information or the lessons learned in a new situations or in a situation when he or she gets that kind of opportunity. So there are certain kind of action plan which are with apply level. Generally, I'm using the term generally under quotes. These three are also known as lower order thinking skills or lots. Although with apply, I do not think that it should be very strictly be called as lower order thinking skill. In the first year courses or in the initial part of the professional education program, generally courses will be mapped with remember, understand, and apply. Generally. So what I mean to say is probably in BTech first year, maybe in some courses of second year also, when the course is entirely new for the student, we will probably map our course learning outcomes with remembering, understanding, at best with apply level. In MBA first year, second year courses, there will be difference. In first year, first sem, second sem courses, again, same principle will apply. They will be learning some new courses, majority of them. So remember, understand, and apply are the levels where our course learning outcomes would be focusing on. But when they become second year students of MBA, that is their final year, or they become students of third year and fourth year of technological or technical graduate degrees, they should be able to apply, analyze, evaluate, or maybe go up to the create level, the highest level of learning, which can be demonstrated via designing, assembling, constructing, and those words, developing, formulating something. So produce new or original work. Some courses may take their CLOs to that level. Here, I must say, not all courses, even in final year of graduation, such as BE, BTech, or final year of MBA, may be able to take students to the level of create. But yes, the idea is at least analyze or evaluate levels should be touched upon, because these are the higher order thinking skills. A student who is armed with higher order thinking skills will be a better kind of growth driver in the industry 5.2 paradigm. That's what the assumption is, and it has been proven also. So Bloom's revised taxonomy has so many action verbs which we should use to create our CLOs, course learning outcomes, SLOs, session learning outcomes. Assessments should be designed in a way which should also reflect which kind of Bloom's taxonomy level it is addressing. So the questions should also have those words. What do we mean by that? I'm quickly coming to it. I have maximum half an hour, so I will try to wind up fast before that so that we can have some question and answers. So what do we mean by Bloom's revised taxonomy? So these 6 levels, what do they mean? So this is something which you can just quickly go through. So remembering is something which exhibits memory of learned material, recalling facts, concepts, and some kind of answer should be focused in this level. Understanding is the second level. It may not happen without remembering, of course. But in understanding, the student should find ways or avenues to show that he or she has understood facts and ideas. And how he or she can do that? Organizing, comparing, translating something, interpreting something which has given to him or her as an information, giving descriptions, and stating main ideas or concepts behind the understanding part. So that's the second level. Of course, I'm just reiterating. Most of you already have a good understanding of these things, I'm sure. Third is the application level, and this is where most of the professional education level institutes should focus. Apply level is definitely something which we in management education do. We have cases. So we try to understand whether students have grasped the ideas and concepts during the class and can apply them in a simulated or hypothetical or based on real life situation, which is in the form of a case study. There are simulations which go to apply, analyze, evaluate, and even create level. So can the student solve problems or find some solutions to some problem areas or some situations? How? By applying the desired facts, knowledge, and techniques, and in a different way, unique way. So that's something which is application level. Fourth one is analyze level. So they have to move further, not only apply, but can they find out a level higher? They can showcase something which is at a little level higher skill. So they examine and break information which is available to them into parts by identifying causes or motives, why it has happened, how it has happened, what should have been done. These kind of questions probably are at analyzing level. Data-driven decisions for technical courses or technology courses probably are at this level also. Making inferences, analyzing situation, making inferences, and finding evidence also to support, yes, what I generalize has this kind of research support or my backend support, my backend analysis support. That's the fourth level. Fifth one is evaluating, that goes a notch higher, higher level thinking skills, thoughts, present and defend opinions by making judgments about information, validity of ideas, or quality of work based on a set of criteria. I just I'm reiterating what has been written here and is visible to you all. And finally, the level creation takes us to the highest level of skill which a student can learn, probably in the higher classes, for example, second year of MBA, some courses only, and similar for technological education institutions, it can be fourth year of graduation, probably in some courses. So in framing questions, how do we use? I'm quickly coming to that part. So please feel free to stop me and ask questions if you have something in mind. So this is again an example drawn from my institution. So there may be institutions here, people from institutions here who are using it differently. So if it works for us, it is fine with us. That's what the broad accreditation level institutions at international level says. So in the first component, which is done, which is generally administered in my institution after 30 to 33% of courses, I think 1/3 of course is done. So we try to map it with remembering and understanding level only in majority courses, even in semester 3 and 4, which is the second year. Semester 1 and 2, definitely it is at the level of understanding only. What are the verbs or action verbs that can be used? So these are the verbs: classify, compare, demonstrate, illustrate, outline, interpret. For example, students should be able to understand and also help us understand that he or she has understood a concept in a particular context. What is an example of this? Here is an example of this. So for example, these are questions which could have been in various the kind of management courses. Forgive me here because my orientation is more in the management education, so my examples will be oriented towards that. But definitely there are corollaries and equivalent questions which can be formulated for technological education. Yes, Dr. Mayank Jain, please feel free to share.
In our institute, we are using this Bloom's level in our question papers. But I
Yes,
have a
sir.
different opinion.
Sure.
The sixth level can also be used in first semester for some courses
Okay. Okay.
like managerial
So,
economics or
okay.
you were saying the uh, evaluation, skill evaluation first
And
year
creation. Yeah.
and but in some courses it can
Okay.
go up to level also in first semester even.
Okay. Uh, okay. When you are saying, I must accept that you must have tried it also, and you may have found it working. Yeah, it may have happened. Uh, in my
Maybe not in first
experience,
semester, then second semester.
second semester, yeah. Uh, in my experience, Dr. Jain, I must admit here that generally I have seen that courses in first year of management education generally have reached, in my institutions, in my experience only, it has reached level of apply. At best, semesters two, a very few courses may have reached level 4. Uh, but that's my experience. So probably yes, we could have experimented better, and we could have found that. Now, what happens, sir, especially in management courses, uh, most of the courses of first year, especially first semester, they are basic foundational courses. Similarly, in second semester also, they build slightly upon most of those foundational courses, and some courses are new. And in the second year, the student generally takes the specialization path, where the courses are advanced level and they have built considerably upon inputs received in first semester and second semester. So if I take that kind of orientation, I have found, and with that, I have found that yes, level 3, level 4 maximum generally, first year courses are able to achieve. But I'm sure it is not impossible to achieve the higher level if you have experimented and experienced.
Sir, in
Absolutely.
our institution, we will also, what Sir said, we will also follow the fourth and fifth level in the first
Okay.
year itself, because we will be conducting bridge courses for the people, those who are not studied
Yes.
commerce
Okay.
background for 15 days. So we will
Yes.
be
Yes. Okay.
making them to align with our curriculum first. So most
Okay.
of them from BCom, BBA backgrounds will have a basic study of the entire syllabus, business
Sure.
accounting, accounting for managers, as well as the business communication, the marketing management. All these papers they might have been studied in their UG level. So we will be going to the next step with the PG level. And the people, those who are not aligning with that, like engineering graduates or other graduates, we will be
Sure.
keeping them a short course of 15 days bridge course. We will
Bridge
make
course.
them to align with the current curriculum. So we are able to reach the fifth level or sixth level.
Okay. Wonderful. So if that is
That is one
possible,
of
wonderful.
the pedagogy can be used.
Sure. At least in some courses, you may have seen this happen.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
Wonderful.
can like business communication and all. They can do it well.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. My only request and submission to you all is please try to revisit those courses, course learning outcomes, assessment components again, and maybe dive a little deeper into whether we have really achieved those levels. Why I'm saying this, that sometimes there is an overlap between these things. So what we generally have seen this in my experience only. I'm not saying this has happened with institutions where you and Dr. Jain belong to, but sometimes I have seen in my previous two examples that uh, these overlaps are sometimes missed as reaching the next level. So, but pardon me for saying this, but this has happened sometimes. So, there is no harm in reviewing what we have achieved so far in our first year courses. With the bridge course, definitely we can take the student to the next level uh, in a better way. So, I agree with you. If there is a kind of valuable inputs are given to them, probably a level 5 can also be thought of or planned for. Fine. So that is possible, though in majority institutions it could be difficult. That's only my submission.
So
Thanks.
then
Thanks
how
for it.
you will be adding the case studies for each unit, sir, then? Case study analytical
Yes.
part is there in that, and discussion of Harvard case studies are there in that
Harvard
first
case
year.
notes. Yes. Yes.
So that time
Okay.
what
Wonderful.
we the level will be high, no, sir. Case study
True.
creative suggestions, they have to create it and they have to submit to us. In the
Yes.
class
Yes. Wonderful.
discussion itself is case study.
Okay. Wonderful. Yes. So,
So we will
yes.
be adding
Wonderful.
everywhere case study for every unit and every topic.
Wonderful.
And case study discussion weekly once will be happening.
Okay. Okay. Very nice. I'm really happy
Then,
to understand
yeah, that
this.
is to be the case. Then we have to keep it for 5.
Okay.
And
Wonderful.
they also should write their own case studies and publish
Oh, wow. That's great. Wonderful. And I'm
in
sure
case
that,
center.
yes, you would have attained. Now, we may have some colleagues from technological institutes or technical institutions. Uh, do they have something to add here in this discussion? Is there anyone who would like to share their experience of assessing people attaining CLOs or creating CLOs at what level, HOTS or LOTS?
So this is my university is both with BTech as
Both.
well as with
Okay.
MBA.
MBA. Oh, wonderful.
So we are moving curriculum with BTech aligned with that,
Okay.
and also with our curriculum of MBA.
Oh, wonderful.
Standalone School of Management and School of Technology is also there. So we are also
Okay, great.
taking classes for them, and we are also aligning courses with them. We are also
Wonderful.
having a separate practice called minor specialization. Our
Sorry, ma'am,
students
this
can
last part I could not understand. Specialization?
minor specialization,
Minor specialization.
minor
Okay,
specialization.
okay, yes, yes. Ah, yes,
So
yes.
they
True.
can engineering students will come to law, MBA, or
Yeah.
education or any other domain. They can select from the second year onwards any one of our courses and they will study.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
continuously they will be studying 4 papers or 6 papers in our curriculum. And they will be
Okay,
given along with that a minor specialization of economic public policy, law and
okay,
public policy, management and taxation, Likewise,
Wow.
we will also align curriculum with them and they will also come with us.
Very nice. Wonderful, ma'am. I'm sure then reaching these levels are not difficult, definitely. So entirely it is up to us what kind of pedagogy we use or andragogy we use and how we drive our students to excellence. Wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much for your inputs, and thank you, Dr. Jain, also. So coming back to this first kind of test which happens at my institute, we generally align them with remembering and understanding, especially in first and second semester. Majority courses of third and fourth semester may also have one or two questions which are of understanding level. These kind of examples we use, these examples are just sample examples to show that the action verbs have been used. So first question probably is related to a marketing course. Second is with OB course. Third is probably with business environment or macroeconomics. Fourth is probably with a basic accounting course, such as financial accounting or something else related to accounting. So these are the kind of examples which we generally try to. The examples I am showing is something, some questions we try to create for first internal, aiming achievement of Bloom's taxonomy level 1 and 2 only. Second component generally is again mapped with level 2, and sometimes in some courses we take it to level 3 also. And in some courses of SEM 3 and 4, definitely understand and apply, and we try to take it to analyze and evaluate level also. But that happens generally, in my experience, in lesser courses in SEM 4, SEM 3, SEM 4 definitely more courses will have evaluate or analyze level. Create level is something which we have generally found in our institution mapped with very less courses. It is achieving this has become a little difficult for us, but that doesn't mean that in your institution you are not able to do it. So there are so many factors which are responsible. So I understand that we all know what are those factors, some of those factors which can help us decide how far we can push our students. So coming back to level 2 kind of questions, which will have these kind of action verbs. For level 3 apply level, we can have develop, identify, construct, choose, organize, these kind of action verbs. And similarly, the question also should be of that level. It is not only the use of action verb that makes Bloom's taxonomy level achieved. It is how we are trying to do that entirely with the help of inputs from our side also. So the entire question is valuable. It is just an example of action verbs. Now, third component is something which we use as an assignment. Students submit they do it by their own self, research-based or case-based analysis. Apply and analyze level is something which we have found conveniently arriving. May not have happened always in the semester 1 courses, but definitely semester 2, 3, 4, we have found that it is achievable. At least with reasonable ease. So there are some instructions which are given here. So there are certain things which the student should also know. The directions should be very clear. These are other requirements of outcome-based education. Questions should have directions. There is no harm if questions have hints to answers which are deserved or which are desired. Sorry, not deserved, desired. So these kind of things, weightage given to the answer parts can also be something which we can add to our question papers. This is additional information I wanted to share. There is also a policy on similarity to other published sources or use of AI. The last line here in italics, bullet 4 is on the similarity tolerance we have at our institution, and AI also, there is a tolerance level of 10%. This year we have tried to create a zero level of AI, but we know that achieving that would be a difficult task, but we have tried it. Let us hope it works. Today's generation is very, very dependent on AI, and it has benefited them and us also. Only thing is, are we using it judiciously and for better purposes? So these are some examples. When we give assignments, we give a set of questions, and the kind of action verbs which can be used here are examine, compare, develop, and so on and so forth. Level 3 and 4 can be achieved through these assignments. So case analysis, data-based kind of exercises. These are a couple of examples where we have found level 3 and 4 being achieved reasonably well. Was the last input from my side in terms of assessment component design. Uh, so I will take a brief pause here, and just the last part of my input will involve how these can be mapped back to assurance of learning kind of thing. But before I close this PPT, is there anything which any one of our esteemed colleague wants to share or ask? It would be really wonderful if some other colleagues also can share. Uh, this is really great hearing from Dr. Mayank and Dr. Rahini. But yes, of course, all of us are enlightened faculty members. We can also have our own valuable suggestions and inputs.
So may I speak?
Yeah, sure. Yes, ma'am. Please, Dr. Kanchan Kumari, please.
Yes. Sir, I'm Dr. Kanchan. I am teaching in GG Guru Gobind Singh Indraprasth University.
Oh, wonderful.
So the main thing what I have observed in whole of my career is, as per government norms or these AICT norms, we are following these Bloom's taxonomy. But
Sure.
we are instructed from the institute or the universities that we should not go beyond level 3. Why is it so? Why we can't, when we talk about innovations, when we talk about creativity and idea, the
Creative.
same thing
Yes.
implemented by the AICT itself, then why would we would not give such types of questions above level 3, which includes level 4 and level 5? Why we are forced to give questions under level 1, 2 or 3?
I'm so sorry to hear this, Dr. Kanchan. May I just know which course are we referring to in your university?
Actually, I'm teaching both the MBA international business students
Okay,
and
okay,
also the BBA students. But the
okay,
specialization started from second year itself in
okay,
BBA integrated also.
okay,
So they have the options to opt for their specialization. So I generally used to teach international business subjects
okay.
or economics, but we are forced, we are instructed from the institute several times, but yeah, we show on paper, NAC documents, yeah, we are doing this with our students, we are doing that with our students,
Sure.
but the reality is we are not allowed to give questions above level 3, above level
Three.
3, which I mean level 4 or level 5. But when we talk about innovations at the same time,
Yes,
I
yes.
feel like when we don't teach them to go beyond level 3, uh, which means level 4 or 5, how they would be so creative and innovative
Very
while
true.
doing all such things? My questions is over. Yes, I think I have explained my questions clearly.
Yes. Very true, ma'am. I have understood your question, and I'm able to empathize with you also, because as faculty members, we would like to take our students to the next level. So
Yes,
next level is something which helps them create something. That's what you are broadly referring to, and
yes,
innovate, create, and
yes, yes.
higher order thinking skills are used there.
Hmm, hmm.
I I have no clue about why a university will mandate that,
Sir,
informally or formally.
So let me substitute the answer for that.
Sure.
Actually,
Please,
the
please.
university's curriculum will be based on that three levels, because most of the universities will be formulating curriculum for
Mhm.
the rural, the native language speakers way of education system. So what they will do is those people, those who are coming from those type of rural native language speakers alone with the native language learning will be too difficult for them to understand in the fourth and fifth level or the fifth and sixth level. They will be trying to understand the language first when they are coming to MBA. First time they will be writing it in English.
True.
Especially in
Yes,
Tamil
that's it.
Nadu, students are even learning BTech, BE courses in Tamil.
Ah, okay.
They are coming to MBA first year.
Okay.
They are first time they are writing in English.
English. Yes. So that's a big challenge, actually.
A big challenge. And the second thing is that non-curriculum. Already I spoke about it in this forum. The
Mhm.
students are never from the BCom or commerce backgrounds. They are from
Mm.
English, literature, history. They are from catering technology. Any UG courses are eligible for that MBA. So the level we cannot lift it to the maximum level because the course is limited timing of 45 hours or 60 hours. The credits are more for that. The university curriculum system is like that. So that is the reason why, yeah, I think that the universities, even in Tamil Nadu, we have such systems. Where I'm working is a deemed university, so we have a freedom of formulating everything. But before that, I was working in the private, I mean, government university, where
Okay.
they will have a system of only up to third level. You
That's
can
what okay.
create, you can give your assignments and other things if you are an autonomous institution.
Mhm.
Otherwise, the university is telling that this level itself is reaching very tough
Okay.
because of the
Yes.
rural background and the native language speakers.
Okay.
Long way to
Okay.
go with those type of
Sure.
curriculum change, sir.
Sure. So this could be one way, although it also confuses me because GGSIP is a part of Delhi NCR, but yes, there could be neighboring states and very many rural population which are entering universities there. So that probably is one logic which I can understand now. Second thing, which probably this raises a question here, and it raises a question to me also. Uh, are attaining Bloom's taxonomy level action verbs, attaining those dependent very heavily on language, or are these more driven by something which is more internal to the candidates or students, which is something like using their intellectual capacities? So it is just a thought. So I have nothing conclusive to answer your question, Dr. Kanchan. But yes, this raises a question. See, across the globe, and where I come from, I should also share this. The premise of my answer is that when we talk about IQ levels, intelligence quotient across the globe,
Hmm.
language plays an important part, yes, but that's not the entire thing which governs IQ or assessment of IQ. So if that's a kind of an example we keep hearing, uh, probably in educational institutes also we need to think about attaining these levels or reaching out to higher order thinking skills using a mix of regional and universal languages such as English and any regional language. This is just a food for thought for all and for me as well. So maybe we need to probably design curriculum in a more unique way which suits uh, such population. Maybe we need to design our assessment components or assessment questions so creatively that
Mhm.
it takes us to that level also. So both the delivery, design and delivery of the course content, and then assessing those course content, can there be some kind of unique way to look at and design it to cater to all kind of people who come to our educational institutes, especially in India or let us say developing countries also. So this is just a food for thought for me and for you as
Uh,
well.
Hello,
Yeah,
sir.
sure. Yes,
Hello.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
hello, sir.
Dr. Neil.
My name is Nilima, and
Yeah.
I work in an engineering college in Bangalore.
Okay.
Um, See, this kind of problem we are also facing because in
Okay.
Bangalore, across the places, students are coming. So the language
Okay.
problem is always there. So what
Okay.
we have done is we have designed our timetable, and in that
Okay.
we have put a science forum. We have put modeling activities so that
Okay.
instead of going and teaching, they can have they can make their own models.
Wow.
Maybe mechanical, civil, in C programming. So that will
Okay.
help them to enhance their critical analysis and the critical thought process also. So
Wonderful.
so we have done this kind of timetable so that students should not sit and listen more. Students should be
Okay.
more constructive in implementing what we are teaching them in the class.
Wonderful to hear this, Dr. Neelima. Yeah, wonderful. Very nice. Very nice. So this is something which is amazing. If you can try it, why not all of us can try to cater to our students better? So this just reminded me of something which I will share here with you. In my previous institute, we tried something called as HR hackathon. Now, hackathon has a different connotation for technology-oriented courses, but we tried to make it replicate the hackathon for our HR area students, most of who are not data savvy. So they are afraid of data. They are not very good at statistical analysis. But what we did a 20-hour hackathon in which roughly 10 hours were given to discuss concepts through a technological platform. And this is something which Dr. Neelima's modeling example reminded me of. So they were taken through the course or major inputs the course could offer, and then they were given certain kind of industry-based problems, real-life problems. Data was shared with them through Kaggle. Kaggle is a site most of us would know, which provides some useful data sets to analyze further. And they were taken through some couple of tools to analyze, and one expert or a senior student who is more expert in SPSS, we had access to SPSS license version 26. So those kind of teams were made, and then the people will analyze the data, formulate their own research questions, get the data, analyze the data through statistical methods and through SPSS platform, and then finally they will present a report. So what we found is something which goes beyond uh, language per se, language in the sense the medium of instruction or medium of learning. So thank you, Dr. Srivastava, for bringing out these kind of unique things to the forum. And I'm sure maybe if more institutions keep trying these things, experiment, sometimes fail, sometimes get to the next level, both may happen. And maybe in the future years, we will have a better institution learning outcomes. That's something which is probably an answer to you, Dr. Kanchan. And thank you, Dr. Rahini, Dr. Kanchan, and Dr.
Thank you, sir.
And for your just an information,
Sure,
sir,
sure.
NPTEL is now
Yes.
doing the translation work, and we are working on that. They are
Okay.
giving in the
Yes.
native language. All the transcripts
Yes.
are now
Yes.
translated, and even the videos are now we are converting into the native language for
Wonderful.
easy learning.
Wow. This is great. This is great.
And
And
adding to that, sir, what
Yes.
we have done, we have made a compulsory thing when we are taking an assignment. So in that
Okay.
assignment, we are making that a mandatory thing that every
Okay.
student have to go through an NPTEL course, whichever
Ah,
topic they would like to go for, and
wonderful.
this will help them in their CV also. And apart from that, to upgrade their own personal knowledge, as well as that it can help them in if they want to do any kind of internship. And if they do
Okay.
that course, we will provide 10 marks for their assignment. So they are actually two-way, it is a two-way process. One side they will get 10 marks, other side they have because one semester finish in 4 to 5 months, max by
Yes.
six
Yes.
months so
Max.
it is
Max.
a pretty long time that they can go through any course of NPTEL. And one certification, if not NPTEL, then they can go on any IIT website, IM website,
Yes.
IISc website. They can be a participant of any workshop, seminar, but at the end of the semester, they have to produce one certificate, which should be from the reputed institutions.
Wonderful. Wonderful, ma'am. Very nice. Wonderful. So we are bringing this session to the closure. And I especially thank Dr. Sapna Advani ma'am for bringing me here on this platform of learned colleagues. My thanks to Dr. Mayank Jain, Dr. Amar Chavan, Dr. Kanchan, Dr. Rahini for sharing their valuable inputs and making this more interactive. Thank you so much. And I've learned a lot from your inputs as well. Let me be very frank here. Over to you, Dr. Sapna Advani ma'am.
Thank you so very much, sir. It was really engaging and interactive session, and it was
My
indeed a
pleasure.
pleasure to have you with us. And now
Thank you
I
so
would like to
much.
request Shivangi ma'am to please propose official vote of thanks to Arindam Saha, sir. Over to you, Shivangi ma'am. Shivangi ma'am, are you there? I think because of some possibly technical glitch. Okay, so I am going to propose a vote of thanks. I think Shivangi ma'am
Sorry,
is
ma'am,
not there.
there's some technical issue.
No problem, ma'am. No problem. It's okay. So it's my
Uh,
privilege to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Arindam Saha sir for an insightful and deeply engaging session. Sir's reflection on pedagogical advancements, curriculum design, learner engagement have truly inspired us to rethink how education must evolve in today's ever-changing world. Sir beautifully connected OBE, outcome based education, with Bloom's taxonomy, reminding us that true learning goes far beyond recall. It's about applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating knowledge that drives purposeful change. Sir's emphasis on use of modern pedagogical instruments and principles highlighted the importance of making learning more experiential, participative, and learner centric. Your insights on the role of teachers in this cell phone dominated era was specifically thought provoking, reminding us that while technology continues to reshape the classroom, the educator remains the guiding force who ignites curiosity, nurtures empathy, and connects knowledge with wisdom. The way Sir linked the shift from Industry 5.0, 4.0 to 5.0 underscored how human values, emotional intelligence, and collaboration must complement automation and innovation, which is in fact the need of today's era. Sir's message on developing social and emotional skills resonated deeply with the vision of Education 5.0, where